It's time for a cup of coffee with Will and Chris at Slumberland Furniture. From Slumberland Furniture in Osage Beach, here are your hosts, William Holtz and Chris Schneider.
It's that time for a cup of coffee with Wild Will and Uncle Chris from Slumberland at the Lake. And Uncle Chris, I got one question for you.
Okay, what's that?
Are you out of your turkey coma yet?
No, I'm still there. I've still got some leftovers, and I'm feeding that coma, baby.
Hope you've enjoyed your Thanksgiving break, but the new week is here like a freight train, as it always is. And on this week's show, focus on the holidays. We got David Ridgely, Osage River Popcorn. We got chocolates and popcorn and sweets.
One of our favorite people of all time, right?
Listen, some of the greatest Christmas gifts are about to take over the set here in just a minute. Plus, we told you last week, Super Splash USA. It's the new name for Big Surf, right? We're going to tell you about some of the changes. They got new rides, a $3 million renovation, a project getting ready to go underway. That black bear killed, Acorns saved 30,000 deer. We got all kinds of cool local stories, but first this from Osage River Popcorn and then David Ridgely.
Little feet racing down the stairs, presents under the tree, and a stocking full of sweets. For the ideal holiday treats, Osage River Popcorn is the best at the lake. From decadent chocolates to the sweet sting of peppermint. Our two premier locations have all your favorite Yuletide flavors, and you can fight off that winter chill with a steaming cup of coffee. Drive-through, of course. Osage River Popcorn is the place to be for Christmas. After all, it's just not Christmas without a big tin of caramel corn to share on Christmas Eve. Osage River Popcorn in Lake Ozark and the Osage Beach Outlet Mall.
As you just saw, the man behind Osage River Popcorn, David Ridgely, and we think Christmas season, we think Thanksgiving, everybody thinks holiday sweets, right? And so you are the man, we call you the candy man here in town. Osage River Popcorn's David Ridgely, and you brought some treats with you.
Oh, I did, and we're excited to be here today, and we just love this time of season. Everybody comes in happy and excited and walks out with plenty of sugar and plenty of high-quality treats, so it's a great time to be at the lake.
I tried to get Chris to jump off set and so we could chat, and he goes, no. Every time David comes in, he brings a lot of treats. He goes, I
want to be a part of this, baby, yeah.
And so, hey, before we get into talking about some of the products, a lot of people know about Osage River Popcorn at the Outlet Mall, and I know there's a lot of exciting things going on there, but what they may not know is Osage River Popcorn Company and Stom Cafe, which is your second location, been there for a couple years. So tell us about, I call it the new store, but anymore it's not really the new store. So tell us about your second location.
Well, we've been at the Outlet Mall for 14 years, and so we've always done the gourmet popcorn there. We had several chefs come in and help us create these recipes, and I mean, they're amazing. People come in from the cities and just say it's the best popcorn they've had compared to some other companies in the cities. But then about 2022, I bought the U.S. Bank building out by the roundabouts at W, and then there we brought in the same quality popcorn, cook it right there as well. And then we've got European chocolates as well as freshly made gelato and all the specialty coffees and those type of things. So it's a wonderful place to visit. Lots of gifting ideas and just lots of fun things to come in and do for the afternoon.
Okay, so I gotta go back to the popcorn because that's what people know when they hear Osage River Popcorn. They see the awesome tins, which are great for Christmas, but I want to focus on how many different flavors and varieties of popcorn. So how many do you guys have at Osage River Popcorn?
Well, we've got 22 staple flavors that we do all the time. And then we continue to come out with different flavors. I mean, like Christmas, we've got the peppermint flavor. And
I just had some of that. That's good
very
stuff,
good.
Yeah.
And I'm sorry I didn't bring toffee. I mean, that's so amazing. And I know you walked out with a piece the other day.
It's probably a good thing you did.
Yeah, almost bigger than your heart, I think. But I hope it made you happy. Anyway, so yeah, just some great items there. But yes, cook at both locations, and it's freshly made. And done daily. So.
And if you go to the actually either location, Mike, I believe, is the guy that's been doing popcorn for a long time. But look at some of that video there. Like every day, that's the cheddar cheese you're seeing right there, which is my personal favorite. You got some of that there. But one of the things, like this right here, this Stom, this is not just like coffee, right? This is gourmet. So talk about the drive-through you guys have there at the old U.S. Bank, because every day, starting at 8 a.m., you can drive through and get your specialty coffee on the way to work.
You can, and we even offer, of course, you know me, we even offer the chocolates and the popcorn right out that drive-through window too, if you don't want to come in.
Yeah, so, there's a good breakfast for you right there. Right?
I was standing up there yesterday, and here came some cars with some puppies in it, because we have some special puppy treats for them too when they come through. So we try to, like you've said many times, and we've said the same thing, come in a stranger and a friend. leave a friend. And our people at the shop are just fantastic, and we've got a great crew there, and they really enjoy helping people out. But as far as the coffees, I mean, we've got all the different mochas and all the different flavors. We use the European chocolates in those type of drinks, so we melt pure chocolate that goes in those drinks. So we're not just using syrups and those type of things.
I could come over and just set up an IV with that stuff.
Oh,
man.
you could,
Just run it right in.
Grace and Jen, and your whole staff does an amazing job, but they've concocted what we call Will's Special Coffee, and it's a white chocolate caramel mocha, but it's sugar-free, and it literally tastes like Dove chocolate melted in a cup. It's unbelievable, and it doesn't have sugar. And when you go in store, I went recently, we did a Holtz family adventure. You know, Brenly got to have her first visit. Man, the gelato in there. Tell everybody about the gelato, which you can go in and try each flavor. So tell us about that.
Very good. Mike makes it fresh nearly daily. And so we've got dairy-free, we've got the sugar-free. I promise you won't know that it's sugar-free. You're going to swear when you walked out that it wasn't. But we've got 16 different flavors there in the European cooler case, and gelato's available daily. It's a lot less air, about 30% less air than ice cream. And so it carries a lot more flavor to it when you eat it. It's more compact flavor. So just very good. And people come in all times of year. You know, you think it'd just be a summer type thing, but people are walking around the shop eating that gelato while they're shopping for other things, or trying our free samples of popcorn, because we offer free samples of popcorn as well. So people love it. You were mentioning the drive-through and your special drink. I bet the ladies have probably 40 different or so people that come through nearly daily or every other day that they don't even tell them what they want. They just make it for them and hand it out the window. So we've got a very good relationship with the customers, and we appreciate all them so much. Without them, we wouldn't be here.
And Chris, we're going to have to do a double date to Osage River Popcorn. Yeah. The cafe there, you got to take the ladies, because Unique's been there, but don't you think we need to get Michelle in there to try some of those samples?
I mean, she's been trying to get me to get over there for a long time now, so this is a perfect timing, you bet. Although if we leave them behind, there's more for us.
No,
right?
There'll be plenty, trust me.
Cool. There's no shortage.
We've been there 2 years, and even though we're right there on the roundabouts and very visible, and we have a huge following already from all across the country and really in the state. You know, a lot of people drive in, or hey, we're coming in, make sure you have this, we'd like to pick this up type things. We have a lot of that goes on as well. But there's still a lot of people say they haven't been there, so we'll love to have you there. And once you come once, you're always going to come back, promise.
Right. And I want to touch on, they see these, right? This is like my childhood, like popcorn tins at Christmas. Mm-hmm. You always got one of those, right? And maybe you remember the store-bought ones, and you were hoping at the White Elephant you didn't end with the popcorn tin. Well, with these popcorn tins, you're going to be begging that you end with this. And tell us about, you come in, you pick your tin, you got the custom Lake of the Ozarks, there's all kinds of options, you even got the Chiefs, but you get to pick your 3 flavors or your variety and fill that, and that's one of the big gift options, right?
You do, and just so your recipients know that it's gourmet popcorn, we put our sticker on there, so they know it didn't just come from some other retail shop. But yeah, you can pick your flavors, we'll let you taste it, and then we'll prepare it for you right there.
I love the map on there, by the way. That is so cool.
That's something that we designed last year, and it's got the coves and the name of the coves and everything right on the tin, and people just really love that.
Super Bowl champions, much better than the Bills.
Well, I should have brought a Bills tin, but I didn't.
How you guys liking them Bills? How you guys? When it comes to Bills football, I'm just going to get my popcorn
I'm still not
ready.
for sure how you throw a pass and then run it in and get credited for both, right?
No, listen. But you brought me some cheddar. I didn't want to not sample. One of the things I want to touch on too, if you are a partner or friend of Lake TV's, you're probably going to get some Osage River product as a Christmas gift. Check these out, Chris. Can you show them these?
I can eat them.
Show them the logo chocolates, because I'm sampling the cheddar.
Yeah.
We've got sea salt caramels in there, and then we've got a lot of commercial folks businesses that will send out hundreds or thousands of these type of treats, and then we can get them logo chocolates.
Yeah. See, we got our Lake TV logo on there.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah,
absolutely.
Yeah, very good. European chocolates, the original, he started up from Amsterdam. He's a 4th generation chocolatier, moved over here about 30 years ago. And he brings all his chocolates in from Europe and then creates them in a small chocolate kitchen in Des Moines, Iowa. And then he makes those special for us, and I go up and get those as needed. Pretty
Cool story. It's David Ridgely, Osage River Popcorn at the Outlet Mall, or Osage River Popcorn Company and Stom Cafe right there at their new location. 8 a.m. in the drive-thru, 7 days a week. Stop by and see them. Your perfect gift ideas. David, thanks for stopping by, my friend.
Yep. come see us, and I promise you'll leave with a smile on your face.
Amen, brother.
All right, good
We'll
to see
be
you.
right back on Lake TV after this from Slumberland at the lake.
Black Friday mattress sale held over at Slumberland. Up to 60% off list. Get a Sealy Posturepedic hybrid mattress for just $6.99 and save up to $200 on select adjustable bases.
I hear those help reduce snoring.
Get this incredible sofa for just $298. Big deals.
Black Friday deals.
And it's been held over, so hurry. Up to 60% off list. Only at Slumberland. A lazy boy recliner for just $349. Held over, so hurry.
Wow, so we've got popcorn, we got chocolates, then we got furniture sales, and all kinds of things going on, but that's kind of what they've come to expect from Cup of Coffee each week.
Absolutely, man. And you know, David is such a great guy.
Yeah.
I mean, it's what you see is who he really is. Not putting on a show. He is that nice. He is that smart. The popcorn and everything else is that good.
Right.
It's unbelievable.
And have you ever had him on the Spotlight show?
No, I need to have him on the
Listen,
Spotlight
a lot of
show.
people don't know, he's actually an alderman in the city of Lake Ozarks.
Okay.
So he's an elected official.
I did not know
and
that.
He has such a fascinating story. He built a crazy company, a multi-million-dollar company, you know, and he's got an amazing backstory with family and what he still does for so many people. He's actually like a really good golfer, diehard Mizzou guy. He's got roots all over the country, but he's one of those guys that you wouldn't know his story unless you get him on the community Spotlight.
We got to
show.
do that then.
Yeah.
In fact, we joke with each other. He says, I'm not going to call you Uncle Chris because I'm older than you. So I'm like, well, I don't know. So we just call each other Grandpa.
We got to figure out
How about that?
who is older, and I'm not telling either way.
I know
but
I'm better looking, that's for sure. But, you know.
That's great. I bet Deb might not agree, David's wife. Well, hey, so our first local headline, it's been big news, right? Big Surf Water Park sold. We told you about the new ownership team, the excitement, the faith-based, some of the plans they had, right? And last week we got to show you the new name, Super Splash USA, Lake of the Ozarks. What do you think?
Yeah, I love it. And you know what I like even more than the new name and the planned upgrades and stuff is we got to meet the ownership group, the guys that own that. They are so neat. I mean, these are some special people, man. And I'm really excited for what this is going to add to the community. I mean, it's been a really nice part of the community anyway. Darren Keim did such an amazing job with that park for so long. But these people are expanding it, growing it, and I think it's going to be one of the best things in the area. I really do.
Yeah, Scott Johnson, David Bush, the two you're talking about. Now, Lindsay Perry, the GM, going to stay there, and she spoke as well. Such an inspiring story and how much this park means to her. But I'll tell you what, since that Monday and Tuesday, sitting at those two events, I've just been really encouraged, but really challenged in what we are doing or who we are, and just how intentional Super Splash USA, Lake of the Ozarks, and is being with Scott Johnson and Dave Bush. Bible studies. They call their staff ambassadors. They work on a training and implementing a leadership lifestyle that is infectious as far as from the top to the bottom. And it's like, boy, there is some intentionality behind what they're doing, and they're kingdom-minded. They make no qualms about that, right? And so if you're wondering, right, this is a water park at Lake of the Ozarks. It's an attraction. We've told you all about the mission and what they hope to accomplish there, but how about some of the new rides and attractions, right? We got to see some of those on Tuesday. You're going to see Patriots Plunge, right? This is going to be the main attraction. This is going to be a massive water slide. Looks like there's numerous different slides on it. Big, but that's a rendering we got to see on Tuesday. Then, of course, the wave pool, right? It looked like it's going to be called Surf's Up Cowabunga Bay with some new paint and probably some additions. And then the biggest change is Adventure Reef is going to be the kids area, right? They're going to have a designated entry, but then they're putting in this massive like jungle gym and slide and interactive jungle gym for the kids in the water that has just a massive bucket. And so they're investing big money, and they're starting with a $3 million renovation and reinvestment into the park, and they plan to have things ready for next spring, and they are starting with their season splash passes on sale right now for the holidays, and normally between $109 and $199, but the bronze right now starts at $90 all the way up to the gold at 169. And like with the gold, you basically own the park. You get 2 rentals, parking pass, refillable mug, you know, cabanas only. I mean, I looked at that and I'm like, not only are they investing big into the park, but they're passing on some pretty good savings and look like they're going to try to keep it very affordable for families. So as you can tell, like we are all fired up and all behind Super Splash USA Lake of the Ozarks.
Yes, indeed. I'm excited. Again, I think the power behind that is the people, the ownership group.
Sure.
Absolutely amazing. I think it's going to be wonderful.
Yeah, and then you look at, you know, like we mentioned Lindsey Perry, but some of the maintenance team and some of the developers and the crew they've brought in from different parts of the country, all really great. Like they're excited to be here. They're excited to be part of it. So we'll keep you posted, and we're hoping to have like video, and we'll track the progress as they put some of this together. So we'll keep you posted, not just here on Cup of Coffee, but on Lake TV as well. So hey, this was last week. Like as our show aired, this had already happened Tuesday night. According to Lake Expo, the 26th, a black bear was fatally struck by a vehicle near the Camden County-Laclede County line. That's wild, right? Like a car hit a black bear in Missouri. Just nuts.
Yeah, you're driving down Highway 5. So, I mean, we've all been on that road, right? And all of a sudden, boom, lady hits this black bear, and apparently the bear was unknown to the state people. They track a lot of bears, right? So they hadn't found this one. As far as the agency concerned, they said we didn't have any history with it. The bear's hide going to be tanned and used for educational programs in the lake area, and its meat was donated according to the state. So
yeah, this according to, as you said, Missouri Department Conservation Agent Tyler Brown confirmed the bear was retrieved from the scene. Another thing is they sent a hair sample off to get DNA because they had not tracked it. They had no history, like you said, but they also pulled a tooth to try to send off, and that's going to help them find out the bear's age. I found that fascinating.
That is interesting, yeah. Would you eat bear meat, like a bear steak? Would you saddle up to that?
Maybe, you know, I'd be open-minded to it. It would depend on the circumstances, but the photos here with LakeExpo.com were courtesy of Missouri Department of Conservation, and I thought it was interesting that this happened, you know, and in October, we just had the record black bear season in Missouri. That ended October 30th. 15 bears were harvested in Missouri in those 9 days, and that was a record, right? And so
I guess
thought
we
that
can
was
make it
interesting.
16 now.
But that was out of season anyway. So just wild. And people were like, the first thing is, like, you see a bear got hit by a car, and you're like, oh, right? A lot of people. But I was like, okay, this was a female on her way home at night in her vehicle, and you hit something the size of a bear, total your car.
Yeah.
How frightening.
It did total
for
the car, too.
her. And according to reports, her car was totaled. However, the female was unharmed. But I felt for her, how frightening to be on your way home and to hit something that massive and have your car
Have you ever hit anything with a car, a deer or a turkey or something like that? Yeah, I mean, it does some damage.
I nailed a buck.
Did you really?
Full speed coming back from Max Creek from Roach Max Creek area on Camdenton on the way back from a basketball game. That was in the Altima, and I hit a buck and threw it like totaled. Airbags came out, totaled my car, you know, and that'll shake you.
That's a big crash. Yeah, absolutely.
That'll shake you. And so if you're wondering, black bear gets hit by a car, black bear season. So, Missouri rifle season for deer just wrapped up, and wondering how was the deer season, right? Well, it was down according to the Missouri Department of Conservation. And you'd be surprised why the reason. First, let's look at the numbers, Chris. In 2024, total for rifle season looks like just shy of 160,000.
Yeah. So preliminary data from the Missouri Department of Conservation says the numbers were down dramatically. This year's harvest total was 30,000 lower than last year. 30,000 deer lower than last year, about 15% below the 5-year average, according to the MDC Supervisor Jason Isabella. An abundant acorn crop was a big factor in this year's harvest. And I'm like, well, what would that have to do with anything, right? Well, apparently, if there's a lot of acorns on the ground, the deer don't have to go looking for food.
Right.
They can stay hidden back in the trees, and hence the deer hunters aren't going to get as many deer. So apparently that's a big thing. And also, they say weather was an issue. When it's warm or windy, apparently the deer don't move as much. Again, they stay in the trees and they're harder to find. So, I mean, that had a dramatic effect on 159,120 deer were harvested during this year's season, but again, 30,000 less.
And that's just through November 16th through the 26th, that 10-day rifle season, as you said. And it does make sense. Now, if you look at the territories or the zones, the ones that were significantly less were highly wooded areas, this according to Isabel as well. So it made sense. They stay in the forest areas. You won't see them out in the fields and out in open areas, so they're not as easy to access by people with rifles. I mean, that makes sense. But the headline was, Acorns saved 30,000 deer in Missouri this hunting season.
Yeah. You have a lot of acorn trees around your house, right? Are they all falling and hitting everything during the fall?
Oh, yeah. There's acorns and leaves galore. If Alan, if you're watching, can you come finish the leaves, man?
So here's some of the numbers. Top harvest counties this year. Franklin County, 3,530 deer harvested. Texas County, 2,935. Howell County with 27 and 41. So there's some deer numbers for you.
Top counties, those are not heavily wooded areas,
right?
For the most part.
Yeah. And Camden County is, right? A lot of woods in this area.
Hey, so last week we told you, or a couple weeks ago maybe, Sunrise Beach, drive sober or get pulled over the holiday weekend, right? Well, according to Sunrise Beach Chief of Police Scott Craig, this holiday season, drivers in Sunrise Beach will notice 2 flashy additions on the roadway. 2 radar speed signs have been purchased and deployed thanks to generous donation from Chris and Carrie Wilson of the Wilson Family Foundation. Speeding continues to be a major contribution to crashes in Missouri, and Sunrise Beach is no exception. It's my hope these signs will alert drivers of their speed, saving them from a costly crash or even a ticket. The donation also included funds to purchase a new ballistic vest for a newly hired officer. This all from press release. Scott Craig, Chief of Police in Sunrise Beach, goes on to say, "Thank you, Chris and Carrie Wilson, for your heartwarming donation. I'm certain that these signs will prevent countless crashes, making Sunrise Beach roads safer for all." Man, we're seeing a lot of good things go on in the city of Sunrise Beach with the police department here lately.
Absolutely. And I love those signs that show you how fast you're going. Because, it does remind you to slow down and, okay, I might be going a little fast here, right? So
what is it about, even if you're in law enforcement, you're doing nothing wrong, like when you see police lights or you see a police officer, an emergency vehicle, like I'm always looking down at my radar. I'm always making sure that like I've got my seatbelt on or I'm not doing something. And I'm not doing anything wrong. Same thing goes when I see those signs, and they're starting to become more prevalent in Missouri, though. When I see a speed sign, I'm going to be darned if I'm going to be speeding when I go. It's almost a challenge to make sure I get down to the speed limit, which tells you like I was obviously speeding going into it. So I believe these signs probably have an effect.
Do you get nervous when like a state trooper or a sheriff or something pulls up behind you?
Oh my goodness! I know. I'm like, who'd they hide in my trunk? I'm going to jail. Like, I know. It doesn't matter what, you've done nothing wrong. And even I've talked to people, my father-in-law who's in law enforcement, like even when he's off duty, right? Like you see lights come on, you're like, oh, I'm speeding. Like that is the human inclination, I guess. But all right, so hey, other big news here locally, the official medical provider and partner of Lake TV, Central Ozarks Medical Center, where your health is their mission. Big news, right? They have just announced, it just opened this week earlier, but a urgent dental clinic in Camdenton.
Yeah, so, to this point, if you had an emergency, a dental emergency, broken tooth or an abscess or an infection in your mouth or something, you were kind of in trouble because there's no real place to go, right? Maybe go sit for 5 hours in the emergency room or something. But now COMC has just opened a dental unit, emergency unit. If you've got a dental emergency, you can go there and they'll take care of you. They take walk-ins and they opened earlier this month. So they're open, they're going, this is in Camdenton, on the Camdenton campus.
Just this week.
Yeah.
Like Monday. And they said when they got there Monday,
there were people
waiting.
Yeah.
Like you don't realize how big this is for the Lake area. As someone who's in a family, we've had some big issues with extractions and root canals. Like it is the pain you can deal with. ER can't touch it. So we're talking infections, like you said, emergency evaluations, extractions, hey, even pain relief. You're in such bad pain, maybe you need a shot or something to dull that pain.
Yeah.
Well, CUMC has answered the call Monday through Saturday in Camdenton as part of their expansion, 8 a.m. to 5 p.m. as you said. They close at noon on Saturday. Walk-ins welcome, first come, first serve, and they do accept some insurances and self-pay with a sliding scale. Now, here's the big thing. Kelly Miller, their CEO, is going to be with us on Cup of Coffee next week. You guys are going to chat about all they're doing, but listen, spread the news, guys. This is big for the Lake area. We now have an urgent dental care clinic right here in Camdenton.
Yeah, and you know, Kelly Miller is so amazing. She's the CEO there at COMC. She's only been there for 5 years, and in those 5 years, their growth has just been unbelievable. And it's been special for us because we've been able to partner with them for pretty much all those 5 years. But I mean, they're in Laurie, they're in Camdenton and Osage Beach and Eldon, Richland, Crocker, a new place coming in Crocker. So they continue to grow, and even where they are now, they continue to do things like this. So it's fantastic. CentralOzarks.org is their website. Go check it out. But keep that in mind. If you've got dental urgent care needs, they can take care of you.
Yeah, they just keep identifying needs in our area and how can they step to the plate. Looking forward to having Kelly Miller on, so don't miss her with Uncle Chris next week on Cup of Coffee. So hey, we took in last week the Camdenton Chamber dinner. We always love the annual banquet.
That was great.
Yeah, Old Kinderhook, like what a spread they had. Chris Ayers, their GM, Larissa, their chef, Mike as well, but got to give some love to Casey Cloak, the executive director, just true professional, a rock star. I know she had lots of help, but she had a lot going on, and man, she, as always, delivered.
Yep.
True professional, and some great awards. The Business Leader of the Year was awarded to Andy Gibson with the Gibson and Grind Network. But man, there were some great nominees and finalists that we want to give a shout out to. Tyler Getch with Edge Rail and Screen, Kender Cordes with Funky Buffalo, Kathy McGuire with Edge Rail and Screen, Brandon Randall with Keys to Lake, Chris Stevens, our buddy with the Butcher Shop, Marcus Sikora with State Farm, and of course Jessica Thompson from Design and Print, the one who does, you know, all of the Lake TV apparel, our official apparel partner. But you know, they also had Amanda Hayes was the outgoing president, was awarded with April Tate for their 6 years of service going out as board members. Dylan Carver, the incoming president. Shayla Viley, the VP. Natalie Couch, the treasurer. But newly elected board members, this was a big deal. Gary Smith, Lindsay Webster Dillon, Bobby Joe Randall, and Jeff Carr. Seeing Jeff Carr take a board position was really cool for me. That's kind of out of his comfort zone. I saw Kate, his wife, posted afterwards how proud she was of him. And I mean, it's really cool. You look at the Camdenton Chamber, that's a really close-knit community, like all of our chambers. And we were honored to be there. Just a great night. And we got to be with Michelle and our new friend Michelle and both of our wives. But it was a great night.
Yeah, we are really blessed in this area with some really good chamber leaders, right? I mean, Casey Cloak there at Camdenton does an amazing job. And then you got Morgan over at the Lake Area Chamber. She is absolutely amazing, does a great job. And then Mike over at Lake West Chamber, and they were all there the other night. You know, they're all friends, they all get along, they all support each other and help each other. That's just good for the community. I mean, they're not fighting each other, they're working together, and that's good for all of us.
And I wanted to correct myself now. I said Chris Ayers is their GM, Larissa, their sous chef, but it's James Goodlander is their executive chef. But man, what a spread. That was a great meal for a chamber dinner. Are you kidding me?
I had a steak and it was really good.
Yeah, 11 out of 10. And there's a reason why we're having our Lake TV Christmas party with Old Kinderhook this year.
That's right.
Coming up. So as we close out this week's Cup of Coffee, we appreciate you guys tuning in. Man, what a week of Lake TV content. This week, we want to tell you about what's on tap right here on Lake TV, brought to you by our buddy at Chris Light Co. Get ready to illuminate your lakefront paradise in 2025. we'll tell you more about that. But Pastor Jim Long on this week's Community Spotlight
Yeah,
show.
he runs the Anglican Church in Osage Beach, but he's got this amazing history. He's been around the world, done missionary work, so he'll tell us about that. Great story. And then high school basketball is starting. Our first games start next week here on Lake TV.
And you were with 500 coaches
Yeah.
This week as the Lake TV COMC Weekly Coaches Show is off and running with our local coaches. So lots happening right now on Lake TV. Until next week from Slumberland at the Lake. God bless and thanks for watching.